This is a classic rivalry in the state of Michigan. Michigan State takes on Michigan, and Michigan State has won 8 out of the last 9 meetings. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue that streak.
Yeah, it'll be extremely interesting. This is the 110th matchup against Michigan State. They've been playing together for so long that Michigan State wasn't even called Michigan State at the time when they first started this rivalry. Overall, Michigan has a pretty big hand and is favored by quite a bit in this game, and if history will tell you anything, as far as history goes as well, and especially as of late, Michigan's just been the much better team. Some of the Michigan State strengths is their defense has only been allowing 248 yards per game, which is amazing, especially against some of the opponents they've played that have been very offensively oriented. Michigan State's their defense has really stepped up to the challenge and been playing really well, a lot better than a lot of people predicted them to play at the beginning of the season, especially after last year's 3-win season. They've already matched last year's win total. Their defense also allows just under 20 points per game at, I believe, 19.4 points per game, which is, again, one of the top marks in all of college football. And with this Michigan offense that's really been struggling, it'll be an interesting matchup to watch.
It will be, and they kind of stack up pretty similar, but as far as the Michigan strengths goes, their strengths are defense, defense, and defense. They have the best defense in the nation, only allowing 203 yards per game. So as impressive as the 248 yards is, this is a little bit better. And they allow, of that, it breaks down to 69 rushing yards and 134 passing yards. Very balanced on defense. And they've only allowed 46 first downs from their opponents this season. That is also an interesting stat considering some of the leading offenses in the nation have gathered close to 150 at this point. And they're also coming off of a bye week, which I think is going to help them even more.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see with their quarterback. He's not as experienced as a lot of Michigan fans would like. He hasn't been playing up to the standard that a lot of Michigan quarterbacks have played up to in the past. They have some extremely notable alumni, Tom Brady being one of them. It'll be really interesting to see how this Michigan offense fares against this stout Michigan State defense. Michigan State is also not without its weaknesses, though. They have 8 total turnovers, and 6 of which are just fumbles, something that Michigan will take advantage of. They have a lot of defensive and special teams touchdowns. They have one of the best special teams units in all of college football this year.
Well, and as you kind of hit on, one of the huge Michigan weaknesses here is the inconsistency of quarterback. They started with Spate. They kind of had an ongoing thing between, do we keep Wilton Spate or do we play John O'Corn? Well, Spate is out of the picture now. John O'Corn gets his shot. But the thing with him is he has to be patient with the ball. He's just not allowing himself to read the defense effectively, and he's causing careless mistakes. And this team also lacks senior leadership. We have yet to see someone step up to the plate and take charge, as they lost a lot of key players to the NFL last year.
One of my key players for Michigan State to watch is Darrell Stewart. He's just kind of everywhere. He's their kick return man, their punt return man. He's second team in receiving with 170 yards, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but for a run-heavy team like Michigan State, that is a fairly significant number. He's also one of their top rushing options with 101 overall rushing yards, and he's a huge big play threat. He's averaging just over 26 yards per kickoff return, and overall he's averaging over 10 yards per play, both rushing and receiving. So that's a huge player to watch out for against this Michigan defense, they're extremely athletic and really fast. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to slow down Darrell Stewart.
My Michigan key players are the 3 defensive assets here. That would be Devin Bush, Mike McCray, and Chase Winovich, who combined for 81 total tackles, with 18 of those for loss, and on addition to that, 13 sacks. So that's going to be some impressive stats that they're going to have to uphold. And I think this game is going to come down to defense. Michigan has the better defense here. Both offenses could be better. The whole fumble thing that Michigan State struggles with goes back to coaching. It's simply you need to hold on to the ball. And if you fail to do that, Michigan is definitely going to take advantage with the strong defense they have. But Griffin, who do you like in this game?
So far in this game, I think Michigan's defense is just going to be too much for Michigan State to overcome. I think it'll be a really tight game. I think especially being played at Michigan State, I think Michigan State fans are going to show up. They're going to be rowdy, just as they always are, especially in this huge rivalry for the 110th edition of the Cup. Both teams obviously really want to win in this huge rivalry for the state of Michigan. There's massive recruiting implications for this game, and it goes as far as just an overall state pride thing at this point. But I think Michigan is going to go into East Lansing, and I think they're going to beat Michigan State this year.
Thanks for watching RedZone to EndZone. I'm Janae Muchmore, joined by special guest
Griffin Parkrose.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. The social links are below. And be sure to check out our other games this week on the right-hand side of your screen. Have a great night.
Have a good night, guys.